Predatory truck lease purchase agreements have long plagued the trucking industry, leaving drivers in precarious financial situations. Despite recent efforts to address this issue, these practices persist, prompting action from the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, or FMCSA. Predatory lease purchase agreements involve carriers leasing trucks to drivers, with conditions that often lead to financial exploitation. Drivers find themselves owing money to the carrier at the end of a pay period, with little chance of ever owning the truck despite consistent payments. Such practices have been ongoing for decades, prompting the inclusion of a provision in the 2021 infrastructure law mandating the creation of a truck leasing task force by the FMCSA. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, emphasizing the urgency of the matter, stated, "We've seen a lot of ways that lopsided leases are preventing drivers from ever getting ahead and even leave them in a worse place than where they started through no fault of their own." Buttigieg highlighted key issues such as lack of transparency, deceptive practices, and unexpected costs burdening drivers. To address these issues head-on, the DOT established the Truck Leasing Task Force, comprising industry experts. Its primary objective is to assess the impact of commercial motor vehicle lease agreements and develop best practices to prevent predatory practices. This initiative was reinforced by a year-long study conducted by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, revealing widespread risks for truckers entering unfavorable lease agreements. The study uncovered issues such as employers controlling debt repayment, workers' lack of understanding of risks and costs, and misrepresentation of agreement terms. Emma Oppenheim, senior fellow at CFPB, highlighted the trucking industry's prevalence in these issues, emphasizing the negative impact on truckers' earnings, credit scores, and overall financial well-being. One FMCSA administrator, Robin Hutchison, emphasized the safety implications of predatory practices, stating, "Experienced drivers are our safest drivers, and we want to eliminate any trigger that may push them out of the industry." The connection between driver retention and safety underscores the need for comprehensive solutions. In a move to gather evidence and insights directly from truck drivers, the FMCSA has requested lease agreements for analysis, especially those perceived as predatory or fraudulent. The task force is considering the creation of guidelines presented in a buyer beware format to educate drivers about the risks associated with lease purchase agreements. Associate Administrator for Policy of FMCSA, Larry Miner, suggested a visual flowchart to illustrate potential issues in lease agreements, providing a quicker and more accessible way to inform drivers. Task force members, including independent owner-operators, attorneys, and industry representatives, are working towards compiling recommendations by November 16, 2024. While the task force deliberates on specific regulations and guidelines, questions arise about the fundamental viability of lease purchase models. Some members advocate for eliminating debt-related lease purchase programs held by carriers, suggesting that this could resolve the majority of predatory leasing problems. Truly, the trucking industry's battle against predatory lease purchase agreements requires a multifaceted approach involving transparency, education, and regulatory measures. Government initiatives signify a commitment to protecting the rights and financial well-being of truck drivers. As the task force continues its work, the trucking community awaits the implementation of effective measures to ensure fair and equitable lease agreements. The goal is a safer and a more sustainable industry for all truck drivers.